10 mistakes men make in bed.
Amen.
My dick's hard, let's fuck.
My favorite thing is when a guy is like, play with your clit, or like, let's get a toy out.
Yes, woohoo.
You are not God's gift to women just
No.
because you are packing.
Hello, my loves, and welcome back to Luvbites by Dr. Tara podcast. I'm Dr. Tara, and I'm so excited that you're here. I'm very excited for my guest today. I have Caitlin V, who is a YouTube superstar, men's sex coach, has helped lots and lots of men, and the host of the TV show Good Sex that's on Discovery Plus.
And HBO.
And HBO.
Max, HBO Max.
It's now Max.
Just Max.
Which is like a bad boyfriend's name. Max.
Yeah. We could talk about, I don't know that was like the ideal branding, but you know, who am I to say?
That's right.
I'm an expert on some things, not those things.
That's right. Are you having an orgasmic day?
Yeah, I think I'm having a pretty orgasmic week, actually.
Ooh.
I think I'm going to have a more I've got a date tonight, so I plan on having an even more orgasmic day as the day goes on.
Okay. So before you go on a date, do you have like any rituals or?
If I can, I try to spend as much time just like being in like self-care and being like sort of like try to like luxuriate as much as possible before a date, so that when I land on that date, I'm just sort of like in my like feminine flow and like grounded and present. It doesn't always work out that way, but I think it might today.
Oh, I love that. And everyone listening, do you have like a little ritual before you go on a date? Let me know in the comments.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know.
Okay, I recently read this new research and they were evaluating different types of sex toys. And research found that when it comes to like phallic sex toys, so like dildos, women don't consider the length. The length is not a predictor of the dildos that are most popular or most bought.
Interesting.
And the most popular is price, because we're all cost-conscious girlies. But also, the second most popular criteria is girth.
What's the number one most popular color?
Price.
Oh, price. Sorry. Okay,
yeah, price and girth.
Then girth.
So these are like two predictors.
Is that true for you when you buy that kind of toy? Are those your conditions for buying a toy?
I'm thinking about like a real answer because I personally don't really use dildos. Yeah. I mean, I was given so many from brands to like review.
Yeah.
I'm sure you do too.
A gajillion.
I don't use dildos as much. I have tons of vibrators, use them all the time. So for me, like my number one criteria for a vibrator is actually discreet, like silence. I do not like loud toys. So when my friends are like, oh, my favorite is like this big ass massager that you have to plug in and it's like a zzz, I'm like, I don't like that at all. I want it to be like Dyson, like silent.
Oh my God.
If Dyson makes a fucking
Dyson
vibrator,
should make a
I'll
vibrator.
be like their spokesperson.
I would pay $500
Me
for
too.
the Dyson. I don't need the hair wrap. Like I'm jealous of the girlies who get to use the $500
I do. This is the hair wrap.
Well,
They're not my sponsors, so they should pay me.
They should pay us both for this brilliant idea that you just had of them creating a vibrator.
What if it's like Caitlin V X Dr. Tara X Dyson?
X Dyson. It's the bougiest vibrator.
Yes.
I want to say, when I think about a dildo, I'm looking at color and shape. And then size.
Color.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want? Do you want like outrageous colors?
I want
or, like,
outrageous
close
colors.
to skin color.
No, because when I get the close to skin ones, to me it's just like a little too real. Like I don't need it to look
like
realistic.
we know it's a toy.
Yeah, exactly. I know
there
what a
is no
dick
body
looks
attached
like.
to it.
Yeah, but I have a couple ones that have like kind of like an interesting shape on the bottom that's designed for G-spot stimulation, or like they have kind of like a ridge on them or something like that. Like, and I'm gonna guess that the reason that women don't think so much about length is because no one's thrusting it into them. So like the length doesn't really super matter. You just need to insert it as long as it feels comfortable for you. You don't need like any extra length after that. And there's no risk of it's the girth.
Like, because you want it to be like snug,
right? But not too snug, because
not too snug.
Like, yeah, you want to be able to like have a quickie with yourself with it too, as well as an extended session. And recently, my favorite toy for insertion is actually a glass wand, because it's so much easier to clean. Like, it's cold at first, but then it heats up to your body temperature, and like I just like put it underneath you can heat it up beforehand.
I'll be like, my pussy's cold.
But then it gets so warm. Like, I don't know. It's just and it's slick, and you can use any lube with it. And I'm like, why wasn't I on glass wands for life? I don't know.
Okay,
I'm
gonna go try that. All right, so this episode is all about 10 mistakes men make in bed. All right. But I want to say, okay, all the girlies out there, like, this is a great episode for you to listen to and also to send it to your boyfriends or husbands or whatever. Okay. But all the guys, listen up. And this is not an attack on men at all.
No.
We love men.
We love men.
We love men.
That's actually why we're talking about
why we're talking about this. And it's really to shed the light on like very common mistakes so that you don't make them and improve yourself as lovers.
And if you recognize that one of these is a mistake that you're making, like no shame. This is why we're talking about it. You can course correct and be a better lover.
Unless it's like a teasing shame, which I know some of you like.
It only feels that way if you like it.
All right, let's go. Number 1, focus too much on the penis and penis size.
Oh my God. Perfect segue from our dildo conversation, right? So I find that men in general, men and women, we make sex really about the penis, right? Like what the penis is doing. Is it hard? Is it getting off at the right time? Is it ejaculating too early? Like, is it the right size? And like guys put so much pressure on themselves and on their body. And so much of that comes from a place of like not enough. It's not good enough. It's not big enough. It's not performing enough. It's not lasting long enough. Instead of being like your penis is one part of the sexual experience. And it is
one of like 100.
A gajillion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's a good scent of a candle that's being lit. Like, that's another part.
Right. Eye contact. Like, breathe.
There's
you
so
know?
many.
We're going to get into more of those, I'm sure. But yeah, like, look at when women are choosing sex toys, when they've done research on women asking them their ideal penis size, for the most part, women choose average. They choose the average size of penis. Like women
5
don't,
inches.
between like 4.5 and 6.5 inches. When women are selecting based on like when they put like dildos in front of women, they ask them like, what would be your ideal partner size? Like they're picking average. And I think a lot of men have this idea that women would prefer like a monster schlong, and actually from my experience, like they take a lot more work. They take a lot more. You got to like warm up a whole lot more and like touch a deep place inside of your soul in order to like be able to take an enormous thing inside of you, whether it's a human or a toy.
And also, like, I know that there's a lot of this type of conversation in the media, particularly like songs, right? Lyrics, like hip hop music lyrics. Let's be real.
Yeah.
I have examples, okay? Sweetie. Rich, blank, 8-figure.
Yeah.
That's my type. 8-inch dick. That's a real pipe.
Yeah.
What about 5-inch dick? That's also a real pipe.
Amen.
But I think because that song is so popular, but also there's so many other songs like Cardi B, right? Yeah. Like she wants a big back truck. She doesn't want an average sedan.
Yeah. Nicki Minaj too.
Right. There's just so much of this in the media. Like, how can you not get succumbed into believing like my dick is too small? Obviously, these hot women are saying they want 8 inches.
And the other side of that is that men that do have larger than average penises are walking around like with unearned confidence. Like you
unearned,
like you've got a big dick. Like you are not God's gift to women just because you are packing, and like I think that they get the impression. I can see where that impression comes from. That like because your body is shaped in this way, that you are special and that you deserve. You should be entitled to feeling more confident about yourself. And I'm not to knock anyone down. I'm just saying like ask yourself like, are you really a great lover, or like are you relying on this genetic quality that doesn't necessarily make you good in bed?
Exactly, because the penis size is not a part of the criteria for sexual competence.
Yes.
Competence is skills.
Yeah.
Is the ability to be present, is the communication, is all the things. So your penis size isn't even a part of the criteria.
Can you imagine if women were walking around like, I'm a great lover because I have giant labia? Like these huge lips are like deliver, like we just like it doesn't
makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
But I love this list, by the way, because, okay, Caitlin sent me this list, okay, of the 10 mistakes men make. And Caitlin is like a well-known men's coach. So these are the common mistakes that you hear and that you help.
I've literally coached hundreds of men one-on-one and thousands more if you include my groups, and like tens of thousands if you include my courses, and millions if you include YouTube. So like these are and for the last 9 years I've been like these are the things that I constantly see, both one-on-one when a client comes to me and is like, hey, my sex life isn't working out, and I'll be like, hey, give me a play-by-play of what's going on. Tell me what's going on in your mind.
And it's these
what's
10.
The feedback that you're getting, and it's consistently these.
Is consistently these 10. And I think this second one is the biggest one, in my opinion, of helping couples. Skipping foreplay.
Yes, huge mistake. For
Especially
both men
in
and women.
long-term relationship. Well, it's both. I think it's hookups, like casual sex hookups, and long-term relationships.
I agree.
Where heterosexual men skip foreplay.
Yeah.
Like maybe they do like a little bit, you know, boob touching, a little bit licking the nipple, and then like, okay, let's go. I'm hard. Let's do it. Let's penetrate.
And it's because they're applying the way that their body works to the way that our bodies work. And not just that, but I think a lot of men are a little bit afraid of like not taking advantage of their erection when they have it. Or maybe they've been conditioned to like lay like okay, so your erection can come back. It's not unusual or abnormal to have an erection and lose it, or it gets a little soft and then it can come back. But I think there's this pressure of like, okay, I'm hard. Like we should do like right now, let's get it in, right?
My dick's hard. Let's fuck.
Again, overly focused on the penis.
Right. Two goes back to one.
Right. Or they're two, we are rushing sex, like just the same way that we rush food or we rush through, like, how often, I don't know, for me, like I often work through lunch, like I'm just eating and working at the same time. Or like if I'm not, I'm trying to eat as quickly as possible to get back to whatever I'm doing. And I think like we're afraid to put like an hour towards sex or to like really schedule that out or book it. And
skipping foreplay is really, I think it's creating for me as a woman, if my partner, and I like that you mentioned that they are afraid to lose an erection, because I think that's so true. And it's not talked about that often. Because usually when people talk about like men skipping foreplay, they always take the angle of, not always, a lot of times, take the angle of like, oh, men are selfish.
Right.
But I like that you come from a very empathetic place. Like, oh, maybe they're not selfish, but maybe they're afraid of losing their erection. Like, oh shit, I'm hard, let's go.
Right. Or they're afraid that like if they don't move fast enough for her, that she's gonna like somehow lose her attention. It's like the scarcity mindset of like, okay, I'm lucky enough to like finally be at the start line of penetration, which again is another mistake that I think we make.
Right. Like, we're about to fuck. I'm so excited. Let's go.
Right. Let's go. Right. Instead of being like, what's the scenic route? How do we get to this place? But like, how do we take the long road?
And she's not there.
She's not there.
Like as a woman, I really hate like doing penetration when I'm not wet yet.
Right. Or like
don't rush me,
fully engorged, fully awake, fully open. And it takes time to get there.
It just takes time, period. Like it's not that like, oh my God, she's not responding fast enough. It doesn't ever take like 30 seconds.
It doesn't.
It doesn't ever.
No. And like quickies are great.
Do you ever like, I guess, diary your pussy? So sometimes after sex, I'll diary my pussies. Like there was one time for like almost 30 times streak where I diary my pussy of how long it took for me to get wet.
Interesting.
And it never takes like less than 5 minutes.
I
but
haven't
then
thought
there's
about
a lot of guys that want to penetrate prior to 5 minutes.
Right. And what they don't understand is that you're actually doing damage over time, right? Like just like if you say like you had an exercise routine and you never warmed up, you never gave your muscles a chance to like heat up and flow, you never stretched before you go running, like you're going to be doing damage to your muscles and you're not doing what it takes to actually like warm and open them enough for them to perform in that way. And like the pussy is made out of muscles, right? So when we're constantly like forcing those muscles before they're actually ready and warmed up and fully like relaxed, over time, it's like doing a bunch of micro traumas. And I think what ends up happening to a lot of women is that sex doesn't feel good or they experience pain. Like I think the statistic is like 1 in 5 women experience pain with sex. And I think so much of that is just the constant forcing the body before it's actually ready and the cumulative effects of doing that over and over and over again. And then it's like, no wonder she doesn't want to have sex. Like, would you want to jog if you ran a half marathon every day for the last 3 years without warming up? Like you'd probably want to just kick your feet up and relax.
I want a massage.
I want a cold plunge. I want a compression sleeve. I want an infrared sauna, but I do not want to be penetrated.
Yeah. So men, listen up. Never skip foreplay.
Ever skip foreplay. Even if that means
part of, I think, sexual confidence is knowing how to be good at foreplay.
I agree.
Do you feel like you have like, I guess, what's your average requirement for foreplay?
Okay, so I recently got called out by a lover.
Ooh, tell us.
I'm telling on myself right now. So I am so guilty of rushing. I'm so guilty. I also am super enthusiastic. There's a reason that I coach men. Like we get along. Like I understand their line of thinking.
Are you like more of a spontaneous sexual desire person?
Both and. I think like recently I've been a little bit more into responsive desire. I'm not feeling like my libido like as much throughout the day. I've got to like kind of like remind myself to masturbate recently. But I think that's more to just do with my life circumstances at this moment. But I got super called out by this lover who has a big dick, by the way, and was like, I was like, okay, let's go. Like, I'm ready. Like, penetrate me. And he was like, you're not ready. He was like, you're literally not ready. I was like, no, but I am ready. Like, I feel ready. I'm emotionally ready.
He's like, your clit is not engorged.
He's like, but you could be more ready, and I'm not going to do that until you are. And I was like,
wow.
Okay, fine.
That's a good lover.
Yeah, he's a good lover.
Is he like a tantric person?
I think
a lot of dudes are into that nowadays, especially like people that go to Burning Man.
Totally. Oh yeah, that does describe him. But I think he's really into the energy and the connection that's happening between us too. I like it too, but I also like, it's like sometimes it's like 1 a.m. and I'm like, we gotta work tomorrow.
I'm horny. My head is horny.
I'll get there. Trust me, I'll get there. And he's like, you're not. I'm not gonna do it yet. And then it becomes kind of sweet. Then it becomes like a little bit dominant, and I'm a little bit like, okay, fine. Like,
Number 3 of a mistake men make in bed. Try to reproduce porn sex.
Yes. This could honestly be like the entire list in some way, right? Because porn does overly focus on penetration and on penis size, and like I think that there's so much lacking in sex ed nowadays. Like so few of us actually have any sort of role modeling of like what a great sexual encounter looks like that's not being produced for a camera, right? Like porn is made for an audience. It's made for entertainment. It's not really made to actually like accurately represent what sex between two people looks like. And there was this interesting study done recently, a terrifying study done with college-age women who report being non-consensually choked during sex and are actually showing signs of PTSD as a result of this. Like it's very traumatic when someone, grabs you, chokes you. This is like inherently a violent act. And like I'm someone who enjoys like a little choking when it's really well done, but only if it's discussed first.
Yeah.
And because choking is so popular in porn, all these college-age guys are going directly. And they're terrified, right? Like especially if this is a hookup, you don't know someone, you don't have a trusting relationship, and they do this like violent, act on your body.
That's actually very scary.
And if you don't choke correctly, you can actually do damage. You can break the hyoid bone in the throat. You can actually like really permanently hurt someone. Like.
And when we're caught off guard, it's not hot.
It's not hot.
Actually, it'll probably make me like dry up real quick.
Oh yeah, that's gonna make because it's gonna activate your fight or flight nervous system, which is gonna start telling your body like not safe, close off, no more. No. Yeah, you're gonna have a hard time experiencing pleasure and orgasm and getting wet after that. Like. And the thing about choking, I think, is like you don't even need to actually give someone a blood choke or let alone an air choke in order to create the experience. So like if you have that conversation with someone and you're like, do you like being choked during bed or during sex? When do you like being choked? Like, I only like to be choked right when I'm about to reach an orgasm. Ooh. I don't like it just like randomly throughout, right? Like, but if I'm on the edge of coming and I'm not quite there, then like, give me a little pressure, doing a little blood choke here can like be the thing where I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I'm in the moment now.
Oh my god!
Like it's grounding me in my body, and now my head is not like out of the room. Like I'm right here.
I like the way you describe it. Do you have a course on choking? I feel like you totally should. I like the way you described it a lot, and it made me like self-reflect. I think I like when my husband chokes me, but more like softly.
Yeah,
I like when he like grabs my neck really hard rather than choking. Like just grab like this, and I love it even more when it's accompanied by dirty talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They feel like they flow together
grab
really
my neck
well.
And go like, you like taking my dick?
Right?
It's How's daddy's dick? I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, right?
I love daddy's dick. Now that I think about it, that's what I like.
The combination of
the dirty talk and the grabbing rather. So like grab motion.
The grab is a little more like it's more like I desire you, right? Whereas choking is a little bit more like on a psychological note. Choking is a little more like I don't know. It's an aggressive act, but then I think choking right when there doesn't always have to be a psychological component to it. It can be purely physiological, right? But it's always like a little bit of power. I've got power over you. Like I could hurt you if I wanted to, but like you like it. Yeah. Also, I like when someone just like puts pressure here. Like you don't even have to like really touch my neck. If you just like
during missionary sex,
close to me and push here, that is like the psychological equivalent of choking. You don't even have to cut off my blood to do it. You know?
Girl, you can totally do a course of like 5 ways to choke. There you go.
All right, write it down. It's coming up. Put in the comments if you would like the Caitlin V choking course.
Yes. Another thing about porn, like you just said, was like penis size or like it's you don't ever see small dick on porn.
No.
right? So like if you do have an average or maybe a little bit below average, like maybe you do have a 4-inch erection, you might feel like extra ashamed.
You might assume you're the only one out there.
Right, in the
you
world.
Like, yeah, the only human being instead of like still on still just a little bit below average.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, there's a lot of like face fucking and choking and gagging and crying and like not that those things are not invalid. Like but I don't know that they're going to be like every person's preference in every sexual encounter. Yeah, it just sets an unrealistic standard.
Yeah. Quick shout out for my sponsor today. I am so grateful that they exist, honestly. MyONE Condoms. MyONE Condoms is actually custom condoms to fit you and your dick specifically. MyONE condoms have over 50 sizes, lots of different width and length, and like getting custom suits, right? It's like, it's designer, bitch.
Get it
like,
tailored to you.
Yeah,
come on,
it's tailored to you. It's
great.
Great for comfort. It's great for fit. It's great for confidence, because penis confidence is a huge thing, as we are talking about here. And MyONE condoms has all kinds of custom fit. You can go on their website, and Caitlin is playing with it right now.
I'm obsessed with this.
It's cool, right? Okay, so you can go on their website, and they have a fit kit. This is like a measurement for your dick. You can measure the length, and it goes by, I love that you notice that it goes by letters.
It goes by letters. There's like, this is the least shaming dick measurement thing I've ever seen. It is.
No shame in a dick measuring game.
And so girth too.
Yep, you measure your length, and you measure the girth, and then you submit it on the website. And then you can request free samples. Like, you don't even pay for it. Like,
you pay everything.
You get free samples to get it first, to see how much you would love it. And I honestly will tell you, you will love it because it fits you perfectly. It's designed for you.
I love it.
You can also just order the large and snug sampler. These have 3 in them, and you can try the different ones if you would rather to just like buy the ones that are already out there. But they have like 52 sizes, so you can buy one like that as well. But I like the measuring thing. Like, if I have a dick, I'm definitely measuring and ordering a condom that's perfect for me.
For so many reasons.
So many reasons, right? Because if you wear a condom that's too big, there's like, that loose part at the end, and that causes like low confidence.
Yep.
Right? Like, it slips off. If it's too small, then it's like
pinching.
Yeah,
it's cutting off blood flow. And also, like, as a partner, I would feel more confident knowing that he's wearing the exact right size.
And
like,
how baller. I don't have to baller.
Oh my God. It's actually really hot. Like, let me know that you take yourself seriously.
Yeah. If someone I'm fucking is like, oh baby, it's okay, I have a condom. I had it made just for me. I'll be like, fuck me. That's so hot.
That's so hot.
Yeah, so I'll have the link in the episode description. You can go to onecondoms.com and literally go measure your penis and get your custom condom. Period. Okay, we have number 4. Don't pay enough attention to the clit.
Yes. Goes back to porn. When do we see people ever touching the clit during porn? Like, it's kind of rare.
Not
it's kind
often,
of like,
unless you Google that word.
Right.
Like, which I do.
Or if you're
like
watching like really
play.
consciously made porn. Right. But I think we just forget overall. Like, we just don't have a strong enough message around how important the clit is to orgasm. It's like having sex without touching the head of your penis. Like, imagine if you just didn't touch at all. Like, if the head of your penis was completely ignored during sex, like, how would that feel for you? Probably not great.
Shitty.
Yeah. So we just like bring in the clit,
like,
bring in toys, touch.
My dick would not feel good. But honestly, I have had my fair share of hookups in college, and guys don't know. Like, guys don't play with the clit. They don't try to like play with it with their fingers. They don't lick it. They don't suck on it. Like, what?
They don't ask for feedback of what you like, or when they do touch it, they do it like really aggressive. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just. Or they don't encourage you. Like, my favorite thing is when a guy is like, play with your clit, or like, let's get a toy out. Like, when they bring up that conversation, so I don't even have to.
Oh, I love it. It's so attractive.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, number 5, don't include toys.
Like we said, there is a plethora of available toys that do all kinds of stuff, from clit to butt plugs. Like, you're adding extra tools to the tool shed
and
when you bring
most women
toys.
Love vibrators.
Yeah.
Not all, but most.
And I think the ones that don't maybe haven't had enough exposure to quality vibrators, because there are so many great options. And like, okay, so your clit doesn't like this kind of vibrator, but it might like a different kind. It might like a suction kind.
Yeah.
You know, it might like one that's
I
like
me
gentler.
A
And I love a suction kind. And, you know, one of my favorite pieces of advice that I hear from you often is change up the kind of vibrator that you're using so that your clit isn't necessarily getting accustomed to just one kind of stimulation.
And when people are like, oh, I don't want to spend more money, I'm like, girl, you spend $40 on candles.
I spend so much money on like moisturizer.
Right,
you know?
exactly.
Like,
get one other vibrator.
Get one nice vibrator. Get two nice vibrators for yourself.
Two nice vibrators.
You don't even need your skincare if you use those correctly.
What type do you like to bring out during partnered sex? Like if you're having sex with a man, what type would you like to bring out?
So it kind of depends on, well, because, you know, we're blessed to have a bajillion different clit stimulating toys of various kinds that companies have sent me. But I recently, when we were at the expo recently, I got a cupcake vibrator. Cupcake clit. It's literally like a tiny little silicone cupcake, and it's got like a tongue on top that like whips back and forth.
Oh,
and because
I have that, but like it's a rose.
Yes, yeah. So this is just, but it's like it's a cupcake, and cupcake's one of my nicknames, and it's like my DJ name.
You're a DJ?
Yeah, DJ Cupcake. I'm really a small time DJ. I do not like performing.
Do you want to DJ my birthday?
Yeah, I do. That's all I really want to do as a DJ is DJ my friends' birthday parties. I've tried playing out and it's not my thing. Too much pressure to be like at the club or at the party with everybody looking at you. It's not my jam, but like, yeah, friends party. That's the kind of performance I want to do. So yes, you can totally book DJ Cupcake. She's literally coming out of retirement tomorrow.
Okay.
But so anyways, recently I was with a lover and he was like, pick out a toy. And we'd already been like going back and forth on like a joke around it, like, there being like a secret dungeon with a bunch of cute girls underneath my place. So obviously when I went to get the toy, I was like, oh, it's got to be the cupcake. Cause like, this is our like ongoing joke is that there's like a bunch of like really cute, innocent girls in like schoolgirl outfits. Like it's gotta be a cupcake. It's like fun and it's personal and it's cute. And because I'm not too stuck on like what kind of vibrator I'm using, because I do vary them enough, like I can pick the cute one instead of the one
during
that's
like doggy sex.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, and I have one like that has a long handle on it, like the Zoomio, which I really like. But now they make a lot of toys. Other companies make toys that are kind of based on this, but Zoomio was sort of the first to market with it. But they call it like a paintbrush because it's a really small head and then a long handle, and so it's really easy to like get in between your, because you don't need to put your whole hand. Like this cupcake is a cupcake. It was not going to fit. You're not going to get that in between us during missionary. You're going to have to like hold his body like really far away from me. But the one with the tiny little point that's like a paintbrush, I can get in between me and my partner with a lot of ease. So yeah, I guess it depends on position. It depends on, and also like, have we been going at it for a while and I'm having trouble reaching orgasm? Like I'm probably going to choose a stronger toy. Whereas if we're like early on in sex and I'm not having any, like I'm feeling really lubricated, really turned on, I might choose a gentler toy or one that like I don't love as much because I don't want to add too much stimulation that early on. I want to like extend my orgasm a little bit more. So I guess variety.
Yeah. Okay, number 6, don't make eye contact.
Yes, or make too much eye contact. I think that there's like with the lover I was telling you about earlier, like I don't always need to be staring into your soul.
Staring you down?
Yes. Like not in a bad way. I don't want to come off as like shading him. But like I think there's a balance, right? Like I do not like when a lover like buries his head in my face during missionary.
Right. I want to see you.
I want to know I want to know that we're in this together. Because if you're over here and I'm just feeling your body, like it could be anybody. I could be anybody, you could be anybody. Like it's not intimate in that way. But I also have noticed like, and I'm seeing both personally and in my clients that there's like a fair number of guys who actually can't reach orgasm or feel like they can't reach orgasm during missionary or cowgirl, and they like only are coming during doggy style. And I wonder if that's and one of my clients on Good Sex actually on my show had this experience, but I'm hearing about it more and more, and I wonder if that's because it's like less personal, right? So you're not making eye contact.
Oh, I wonder how it might be also related to like Madonna whore complex of like, you know, like when I see her, Madonna. When I don't see her, whore.
Yeah, when I'm just looking at her from the back. Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm fucking a dirty slut.
Right.
Like it's hot.
It's not
sexy.
The woman who
it's
I
like
love.
Not the woman, not the mother of my children. Or like,
And I think like our job.
Okay, not a real research finding, but a theory.
I think like our job is to create a balance where like we feel confident enough with our sexuality and like for men in particular, women too, in order to reach orgasm, we sort of have to like let go, right? It's got to be a big surrender. I mean, literally in our nervous system, it's a surrender in our nervous system.
Yes.
But it can feel really scary and intimate to like surrender in that place while you're also looking at another person. But if you can't, if you find that you're not able to look at them, like that's kind of your work to do, to like figure out where that's coming from inside of you.
I'm like, you know, when I have kids, I'm gonna be like mother in the streets, sluts in the sheets.
Yeah.
Number 7, focus too much on their partner's pleasure and forget their own.
Yeah, and I think that might fly in the face, or it might seem counterintuitive based on what we've been saying here already.
Like, well, because we're saying like make sure you pleasure her, but at the same time, there's also too much. And I like your reasoning too.
Make sure that you're getting off on it too, because otherwise you're going to give yourself performance anxiety, right? Like anytime that we're too focused on our audience, this is me as a DJ. I'm too focused on the audience. I'm not thinking about like what brings me pleasure and what makes me want to jam out. And like you want to see the person who you're with or the DJ that you're watching, like having a good time too. And
like if I'm fucking you, I want you to come.
I want you to come. Oh my God. Yeah, that's another thing I'm noticing with men, both again, personal life and professional, is they're not ejaculating. They're not finishing. Right. And I think part of that is because they've kind of like numbed themselves a little bit with porn or edging or trying to last as long as they could.
Or using the spray or like maybe they want to last longer.
They want to last longer. And so they actually like go beyond the point where they can ejaculate.
Right.
Over the edge where they're not going to be able to ejaculate. And it's
I really love seeing men coming.
Me too.
Like I love the whole action. I love the face. I love the sound. I love the load. Like it's so hot.
It's so hot. It's such a turn on. My favorite genre of porn is solo male.
No.
Yeah. I'm like, you just jack off for me. It feels so consensual.
Really?
Yeah.
So you just watch a man jerk off on porn and then you just masturbate?
Uh-huh.
Oh my God, I love that.
It's so sad.
That's so unique. I've never heard any girls like that before.
Really? I feel like I'm like, that's the most vanilla thing that I do. I
love fingering porn. That's what I like watching.
I could get that.
I'd have a thing for sure.
Okay, I'll try that. I don't watch that much porn, so like my porn rate, it's not like I tried all the kinds of porn and I landed on solo male. Yeah. It's like I sampled and I was like, you know, I need some plot line, but then I don't like the plot line.
Do you like hentai? Like cartoons?
Yeah, no, I not particularly.
Okay, I like it too.
I like the ahegao.
I
love the ahegao. That's the name of the face in hentai that the girls okay. I can't do it.
Do you like the face?
I love it. I love doing it just for myself in my life, just to be funny. Like I love it theoretically. I love it in cartoons.
So when it comes to men forgetting their own pleasure, what would be your advice for them?
You know, a lot of my advice for men comes down to like practice how you play. So masturbate in a way that actually brings you pleasure instead of that just relieves stress or just to, you know, because it's habitual. Like I would say also get into like experience pleasure in your life. Like what do you do? We talked about me like luxuriating in pleasure before a date. Like, you know, men are not conditioned to look for things that just bring them pleasure. Right. They maybe don't do as much self-care, or maybe they don't get massages, or maybe they don't dress in a way that brings them pleasure. So you can't rely on sex to be your only source of pleasure. Right? That's putting too much weight on this thing that like, yes, is pleasurable, but like so is eating a great meal or spending time with your friends or watching a sunset at the beach.
Chocolate.
Dude,
like a piece of dark chocolate.
Just like running your hands through your hair. You know, like all of these things can be pleasurable. And if you're not used to tapping into pleasure
for men.
More pleasure. And then when you're in sex, it's going to be a lot easier for you to tap into it. And I don't know if this is on our list, but like making noise,
that literally is next.
It's that okay, great. Let's talk about it.
So the next one is when they don't make noise, like moans, groans, grunts, whatever.
This is a personal thing, but I found it to be true in terms of like helping men to enjoy sex more and to get what they want out of sex. But like I hate when a lover is super stoic. Quiet, not making any noise, just like doing a job, right? I feel like I'm a construction site. Like, you know, I want to hear you groan. I want to hear you breathe. I want to hear you like get a little weird, dirty talk. Like,
hot.
Come on, like make some noise with me, you know? And I think also just on a real practical basis, we only have so many ways of like really moving energy throughout our body, and breath is one, movement is one, and noise is one. Like the difference between taking a long inhale, exhale, and taking an exhale with a long sigh, like it does more to move that energy through our body. Right? Make some noise.
Yeah, make some noise. Literally, whenever my husband is too quiet, I like slap his butt like
Yeah, come on, like, come on,
Yeah.
give me a little more.
Give me something.
Yeah, you're doing it for you and for me. So.
Makes me horny. Number 9, when they don't include their butthole.
Yeah. Okay, so
Tell us more.
I love buttholes in general. I think the anus is magic. That's like one of my kind of like core beliefs. And it is magic. Like the anus is magical. Like in utero, we develop from the anus. Right. The anus has 2 sphincters that represent 2 different nervous systems coming together at the same place. When you put those 2 things in sync, it's grounding, it's pleasurable, it can be orgasmic. For men, there's a prostate. For women, there's a little patch of tissue called the perineal sponge between the anal canal and the vaginal canal, like that can be orgasmic. Like we bring back the butt is my thing. And
bring back the butt.
Bring back butt stuff.
That's Caitlin's presidential campaign.
Hashtag
bring back the butt.
Bring back the butt. It's not too late for me to run. But
this November,
one of the
vote
other
Caitlin V if you want to bring back the butt.
If you my platform is the peach. One other thing that I really like about anuses is like, we were talking about earlier, if I had a dick, what I think it would feel like, what it would be like, what it would look like. But like, we all have a butthole. Every single one of us, we can all experience what it feels like to have our butts be stimulated and touched and loved on. And even
what
if
about
you
all
don't,
these straight men who's like, that's gay?
Right, exactly.
What do you say to that?
I say bring back the butt. It's not gay. No part of your body, no part of anyone's body is gay or straight or otherwise.
Gay is a sexual orientation.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with body parts.
It is not. I mean, if you look back in history at the relationship that straight men have had with their buttholes, it wasn't associated with being gay until recently.
Aristotle was probably playing
with his
into
butthole. Butt stuff. Yeah, he was playing with his and like
Aristotle loves some butt play.
Butt stuff. Knew how to enjoy a butt. The moral of the story is that you have a whole bunch of nerve endings there. You have a whole bunch of access to pleasure. You have a prostate. Like, even if it's not something that you do with your female lover, maybe that's too much, but it's something that you could just explore on your own. Like, use a prostate toy when you masturbate. It's good for you. It's good for your prostate.
Yes. Yeah. Woohoo.
Butt
Put a finger in
2024.
All right, last but not least, number 10, when you don't speak your desires, men. You don't talk about sex.
They're not trained to. So if this is you, I don't blame you at all. Like, no one we've had this conversation with women and as women, like, you got to ask for what you want, girl.
Right.
You got to tell them
everybody.
You need to
it's all around. Like, people don't talk about sex and their desires and their needs.
I think a lot of men are afraid that their desires or their wants are like too much for a lover. They're going to put her off. They're going to be asking for too much. Like, understand there's a difference between saying that you want to try something and actually doing it. You can have tons of desires that like don't ever actually get acted out, but it can feel really good and like self-expressed to just name them.
Yes.
And then you don't know what she's going to be open to until you ask, until you talk about it. Maybe she doesn't want to have a threesome, but she's okay with fantasizing about bringing another person into the bedroom and making that part of your dirty talk. Maybe maybe there are areas of overlap in between your desires, but if you don't ask for them, then you won't know. And I think men just in general are a little detached from their desire. They're taught that like what they see in porn is what they should desire. And maybe they haven't even done the like slow, quiet internal work of asking like, is this really for me? Is this really what I am into? And if not, maybe what do I really want?
Yes. Prolific. Sexual communication is key to long-term, successful, happy, fulfilling sex life.
Plot twist.
Period.
Shocker.
Period. Well, before you leave, let's talk about your course.
So I have a special gift for all of the listeners and subscribers, and that is a 20% discount on my Legendary Lover course. So this course is like my masterclass on tips and techniques to be a great lover. So if any of the things that you heard today had you feeling like you had some area for improvement, you get a discount on this course. It includes seduction, foreplay, intercourse, and aftercare. So it like really hits on all of the different areas that we discussed today. And if you want to build your sexual confidence, learn a few new things, like try it out. It comes with a 90-day money-back guarantee. So if you are already like an epic lover and you've been, like putting your best in and researching and like somehow this course doesn't give you everything that you want, like you can just send it back to me, no questions asked.
I'll make sure the link is front and center in the episode description.
Thank you.
Yeah. Where can everyone find you?
So you can find me on YouTube, Caitlin V. You can find me at CaitlinVNeal.com, and you can find me on Max under my show Good Sex.
Lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you so much, my Luvbites fam, for listening to the end of the episode and watching. I love you so much. Thank you for watching. But also, if you love this episode, which I know you do, subscribe, like, comments, share, and all the things. And I hope you get 100 orgasms, okay? Other than that, have an orgasmic day. Bye.
Thanks for listening. This was Love Bites. Love Bites. By Dr. Tara. Follow Dr. Tara on social media at lovebites.co. Have an orgasmic day.